right now, ban him out. But in return, they get an Earthshaker, so might be a little scary.
We'll have to see. Fun little extra tidbit for Evil Geniuses coming into this matchup. Sumail coming in. I don't know if he has the most limited hero pool or one of the most limited, but pretty much if it's not Storm, Shadow Fiend, Quap, or Zeus, I mean, then you're in for a bit of a surprise. He plays those 4 heroes over 50% of his game, 53% to be exact. And then you look at the other member of his team, you get Fear. Most versatile, deepest hero pool coming into TI. I think sporting about 91, 92 heroes. Second to that is Kuro at about 90. So they have one of the biggest, deepest hero pool players and one of the most limited. But the nice thing is with someone like Sumail, we see him play Queen of Pain, whether it's on his stream or competitive play. He knows how the hero works inside and out. And it's going to be a tough mid lane matchup here for NewBee if they're not as well versed and ready to go.
And very likely going to be Lesh versus Quap as well. So
yeah,
Leshrac has huge damage potential that he can leverage out. If Quap does get stunned by Split Earth, then you're in a really bad place. But the same thing kind of goes. Quap can harass with Dagger. If things get a little out of position for Lesh, he will be punished by a Blink Scream and some right clicks. So if there are support rotations against Lesh, I think he's a lot more vulnerable than the vice versa. But there still are good setups. You have Fissure from super long range into a Split Earth into some more damage. So sometimes that's all it takes for a Quap to die as well. So I think it's a pretty balanced 1v1 actually.
No surprise that NewBee get rid of the pesky AM. Definitely solidifies Leshrac as more of a core position because of it. We saw earlier in this tournament, I can't remember which team, but they baited out the Leshrac in a sense where the other team like got all these immediate counters to the Lesh and they're like, oh, we're just going to make Lesh support.
Yeah,
and
it was versus
like,
Cloud9.
Oh, was it?
Cloud9 was like, this is our counter to Lesh. Anti-Mage, Pugna. And then they're like,
oh, yeah,
support. It was LGD because I remember Zhao played the Lesh. So yeah, it was basically a super bait. And it not only that, but also showed their hand something they've been practicing, something they thought was good, and it got them a loss. Like, that's got to be tough. Like, here's one of our secrets. Throw it down, bam, we lose. Like, they're like, oh, crap, that was one of our guaranteed wins, and I know for a fact they're going to think about that game for the next coming weeks.
Yeah, maybe something they're like, okay, maybe we put that one back on the side.
Yeah.
Revisit in the future when we're definitely sure it's going to be a Lesh game and more of a core position.
Yeah.
But a lot of thought coming into the second picking phase here. EG got rid of the Spirit Breaker. I always love the Spirit Breaker as a good go-to for teams in counter to the Bounty Hunter, so it could be in that respect. Also, they don't want this Queen of Pain to be pressured too much. The nice thing with the Spirit Breaker is you make that charge out into a Queen of Pain. When they initially make the jump, she tries to blink out to the trees to be safe, but his charge is still happening, so they know exactly where she is, and they will catch her. But look at this follow-up, the classic Universe, Darkseer, the pointy-headed one coming out for the boys in blue.
I mean, this has been an EG mainstay pick with Universe for years.
Yeah.
EG has had Universe on their team for a very, very long time. And yeah, Darkseer is a really, really solid pick for him. Plays that very well. He will get levels in the off lane, and he's going to transition that. Now, one cool thing they can do here that's a little abusive is Darkseer Bounty Hunter. We'll see a lot of roaming from the Bounty Hunter. Most likely AUI 2000 playing that, so you never really know where he's going to be in lane, but sometimes he'll show up to the enemy safe lane, and all of a sudden, Darkseer will pop into the darkness, he'll cast Iron Shell on the Bounty Hunter, and then all of a sudden, you might be like, hey, why do I have 75% of my max HP despite not taking damage? And then you're like, oh god, there's a Bounty Hunter on top of me, and bam, he hits you, and you're slow, and things get really dangerous, especially if it's an Earthshaker or another squishy support from NewBee. So, and they don't even have to go all in on this. They don't have to start off with a dual lane. This is just something that could happen if Bounty happens to show up. So it makes that Bounty threat even higher, while still also having a Darkseer, and he's going to try to lower their HP. I like that they grabbed a really strong support, though, and Skywrath Mage is good as Zonian, so that means that Darkseer will be harder at less able to harass those supports and that carry.
So good nuking power there, and I certainly agree. The nice benefit is this bounty could be at any place at any time, and you really test a team like NewBee and their communication and their wards just to keep track of exactly where the bounty hunter is going to be show up and that they're prepared for it. Now, EG quickly responded with the Clinks there. And this is something that's been a staple to them, Purge. They have ran the Queen of Pain Clinks duo multiple times now, and they are sporting a 4-0 record with it. So this is something they are very experienced with. Not many teams rolling with the Clinks in that core position, but it's something Fear is very comfortable with. And NewBee picking a Storm into it as well.
Yeah, the Clinks was picked very fast. It's a good hero versus Skywrath Mage. Skywrath Mage has extremely low armor. Klinx is good against Leshrac as well. Leshrac is weak to physical damage. Now against Storm, things get a little weird because the previous Klinx build was always Orchid, which provides the silence, which allows Storm Spirit to get away. But now it's shifted towards minus armor since they buffed him so that Desolator does, or I'm sorry, that Searing Arrows, his second skill is not an orb. So you can get a Desolator with him instead, which boosts the damage of Searing Arrows, and he just does way more damage. Put a Medallion and a Solar Crest on top of that, and you just have tons of physical damage. So, but now you're like, we don't have any stuns. Storm Spirit might be hard to lock down. Might limit Klinx's build a bit here, so I think the Storm is a nice pick. But even still, Klinx can definitely rampage against Sky, Earthshaker, and Leshrac if they do well. And hopefully EG can pull that out, because we saw Klinx earlier today picked by Secret, and they got completely stomped by Fnatic. So Klinx is not the end-all be-all hero that's going to win everything. The Storm is going to be potentially very, very dangerous. And Sky as well, very good against Quap because of the silence. So it could go both ways. It really is going to come down to the roaming and the laning.
Maybe they were watching that game. They banned out the Bloodseeker there at the end. Something that could be used very nicely against the Klinx. They don't want to have to deal with that. Lots of prep for this Klinx. Getting rid of the Spirit Breaker and now the Bloodseeker side by side seems to be making more sense with the lineup that EG are throwing together here. But we're getting ready to go into the final pickup here. This is more than likely going to be PPD's hero himself. Very selfless player in his own right. Known for playing a lot of Lion, Dazzle himself if necessary, which is still out there on the playing field and ready. Any other traditional go-tos? He's also a big fan of the Earthshaker, but obviously that had been snagged up from NewBee. But outside of that, maybe a support Lina. Is that too far-fetched to think of? It might be hard to get a hold of, but oh, the classic PPD Treant Protector. Oh, man. This guy has a shirt with a Treant Protector on it with his face on it. That's how much he plays this hero.
Now, NewBee's got a little bit of experience against this because they played against VP, who picked it, and they lost that game to the Treant, I feel, fairly convincingly, and it was due to them not prepping for the invisible hero initiations. Well, they got 3 invisible heroes this game. If they mess that up again, they deserve to lose. So, Klinx, Bounty, and Treant. Are we going to see some triple invisible heroes Ion Shell damage? Is that the synergy, man, or are they actually going to right-click?
I'm not sure yet. We're going to see some gems, probably. That's for sure.
Yes.
NewBee better consider having something in that reveal department. Dust, Sentries, gems are going to be thrown around like candy.
So I think this is really the question to make. How many items do you think Skywrath Mage is going to have in 30 minutes? Brown Boots, Magic Wand. How much gold is this guy going to spend on Sentry Wards? Because it can't be Earthshaker, because Earthshaker needs to get Blink. Skywrath Mage, I feel, is going to be very poor, and the important thing about that is that he may not have a Ghost Scepter, and then Klinx is going to start two-shotting him that game, so that might be a big issue. Night Stalker pick. That's a support. Offlane Earthshaker, support Sky, Night Stalker. So good supports versus Darkseer, I feel. Offlane Earthshaker will be able to get good experience because we're going to have Bounty roaming most likely, but if he does get caught there, he's going to have some trouble. One of June's heroes that we saw in the database, so I don't know. Interesting picks. It's going to come down to the roam, I think, from Bounty Hunter and how well Sumail does mid. Hopefully Rabbit doesn't snowball too hard. That'll give EG a good advantage. But again, they have Treant Protector armor, so that should give them some coverage in all of their lanes. So.
The nice thing, Bounty Hunter, typically one of the answers to bounty hunters to deal with them being kind of all over the place and really not having a good answer is doing more of that death ball, that team push. Something NewBee are very experienced with, but that doesn't seem to be the case this go around here. They're going to definitely need the time to build up on these supports. Sansheng's Night Stalker seems to be an answer for all the invis, getting back a lot of map control. I mean, hopefully one day able to throw together the Ags and the Gem combo, and then he can always keep a Klinx Bounty Hunter and Tree in check here. But look at this, NewBee with an early smoke play here, Purge.
Oh, wow.
Heading right towards the top rune. EG, more traditional, they kind of each head to their own lane spot. Universe gets an early ob, so he rushes it right up to probably just get some side vision or even block out the camp. Owie, the Bounty Hunter, is just going to see if he can sit on the top Bounty rune.
Walks past.
Nah, not close enough to pop the smoke.
Well, how'd they have vision? That must have been a graphical bug or something. I think they, as soon as they got within where he pressed his invis, they might have seen the animation or something, because they reacted to it a bit late here. And their smoke is wasted. So, they might find Universe, though.
Oh,
this
no
looks
surge.
so bad.
He has Ion Shell already committed, so he will not have the surge to get away. Oh, they get the catch with the split earth. Banana moves in. Arcane Bolt, no concussive shot necessary. They're kind of blocked at the choke point. The armor comes out from PPD.
He's got a nuke in one.
Oh, boom, bang. They got him. Oh, they had to sweat it out for that one, but they get Universe down. You know, you can't blame the guy. You got to get Ion Shell to get the early bit of farm, and you don't want to have to hold on to the point in reserve too long, but...
Yeah, you can't get Surge first. It's not worth it. Even I would definitely go Ion Shell over First Blood every time. It's not worth it. He just had to commit to that. Unfortunately, AOI didn't spot the enemy heroes there because they did walk past each other, so Universe dies, but not the end of the world, and if anything, they get to their lanes. Now they're pretty much fine. So that was very good for NewBee, but it cost them a smoke. That's a good trade for a First Blood, I think.
PBD helps out with the block at the start for Sumail, so he gets a wonderful position. Look at this, Owie already going to be a thorn in the side for Moo here. Has the early Orb of Venom, so he's able to get off some quick jabs, and he's still going to continue to be a bit of a problem. Was not handed off any sort of sentry on the side of NewBee. Usually something I see from a lot of support players, they're big advocates on if you're going against a bounty, you can hand off one of the sentry wards to your mid laner just to prevent situations like this or Owie. I mean, look at this. Moo's down to half life, and he cannot really participate in the CS game. And look at it. It even forces out the rotation from Sansheng to kind of be on guard.
Yeah, it was really nicely done. He's got a Clarity Potion here, which is going to fully heal him. And
he sees him and is a bit sketchy here. But he will just get tickled a bit by this Ion Shell, just help kind of contest this pull through here from Universe. Universe is just kind of happy to work with the CS as he's cut the creeps entirely, and he'll be able to build into that Soul Ring. Let's,
ooh, he's going to be able to deward the sentry now. Here it comes. Oh, and he gets an obs. That's a huge deward from AOI here. And that's why he placed it in this position, because the common spots for an early observer ward are either right here or right here. And by placing it, he gets it and the sentry. That's such super value, because now he can be really annoying and pressure. Here comes the Ion Shell and AOI. There it is. Yep. So it's only 30 damage a second, not super huge, but he's going to go on banana. Look at the crit there. Puts him low. There's the pull with the armor.
Nice
Take it.
Grab. They pop the dust thereafter, though. They want to get redemption for their fallen comrade. They want Owie. He's going to try to hide into a little side closet here. Chop his way through the Juke Lord. Make it out of there, Owie. He's able to get it away. Wonderfully played.
Man, they both survived. The tree armor there was absolutely needed, and it kept him alive. All PPD's been doing is pulling thus far this game, but it's completely working out. June getting level 3, so he's doing quite well, but man, they're just messing with the enemy right now and forcing them to move around, put observer wards down, sentry wards down, and AOI's been doing a great job so far.
The impact he's made already in the mid lane to get in the head of Moo and keep him preventing from having an inertial head start against Sumail, and now that top lane has been more than enough. And EG are happy to kind of sack the bottom lane a bit, where they normally would have a support to zone back someone like that Earthshaker, and he can't get a lot. Yeah, he might be able to get a lot now, but they're already getting so much in the other two lanes, it certainly doesn't matter. Now, Owie's going to get spotted. He has the idea Sentry is here. He has a Sentry of his own to get rid of it. Oh,
he died?
What a snipe coming out from Moo. Kicks him with the Lightning Storm. Beautifully done.
That was barely enough damage. So close there. 150 there. They just don't have that.
It's like all counterfight for EG now because they have no initiation. With this Ags and Gem, they're going to see anything coming their way. And there's no blink yet on Darkseer, so he can't like lead in with a big vacuum wall to start things off. There's no blink on PPD, so he can jump in and get a big overgrowth. Sumail could lead in, but I mean, that doesn't stop an Echo Slam lead in thereafter.
Yeah.
It's just not looking like EG are going to be able to have a big team fight impact when stuff really gets crazy, and now they have to start relying on what could be a high ground defense. Bottom lane, NewBee are already charging on through. They're going to get this tier 2 relatively easily, and they'll just pull back thereafter.
Yep. A little bit of a track on Lesh, that way they can see where NewBee is moving to after they do back.
Himself if he wanted to. I don't know
that's a good point, actually. He also invis. That is a bit peculiar. Maybe he's just going to go farm mid.
Let's go Moo.
Yeah, he's just farming. No big deal. The rune, maybe it just popped off because it had been too long or something. Not quite sure. But, yeah, track showing where Moo is.
Where's Rabbit going? Hey, he's going right into EG's bottom base and gets a quick kill on the PPD. He went so fast I couldn't even catch up with him. He makes it in and gets an easy support kill and gets right out on his own home turf. The disrespect.
Yeah, the Orchid. There's no stuns. There's a vacuum. That's it. Vacuum and Shuriken toss.
Caught out as well under a sentry ward, just trying to farm in what he thinks is one of the safest spots in NewBee's jungle. He's dead.
It's just, this game just looks completely unwinnable for EG to me. Like, the everything they had in their draft was the early game roaming, and NewBee completely shut it down, and it turned around and was kills on a bounty hunter. And now they have all these heroes that are decent at ganking and good at pressuring, but they're terrible at team fighting. They only have 2 to 3 teamfight heroes with Treant, Queen, and Darkseer. Darkseer does have a blink now, so his teamfight will be reliable, but it's going to be so hard to win.
Hats Could be one here. Lots of them at this rate. NewBee looking damn strong. They got Moo with an Aegis leading out into the high ground here, getting some serious edict damage. EG got to rally up and find a way to respond and not lose too much. They're playing it very safe though. NewBee just kind of waiting back. They got this unobstructed vision to work with here, and they just can know exactly what EG are thinking. PBD's waiting way in the back under his invis. We have yet to see EG be able to pull out that big kind of team combo. What better time than now if they want to kind of stay alive?
There's the smoke. That's the only thing that's going to protect them against Sansheng finding them with the Night Stalker.
Yep.
So they're going to be looking for the initiation soon. Preferably before the tower goes down. They have one more armor. There's the armor on the tree, or on the tower. That's the last armor. Armor's gone. They're going in. Blink in on move. BKB is used. Storm Spirit balls in too.
They're running. They're running. They're just going to walk away.
Great Orchid.
But, Rabbit pulls back, gets his own Orchid. They go right for Universe, and he is going to be eliminated. Yet to get that big vacuum wall combo this game, he is shut down. PBD thereafter. Rabbit moves in. He's able to sidestep and make it away. They have no way to stop Rabbit from just walking away from the trouble. That means now there's only 3 on the side of EG, and NewBee, they'll take their winnings and walk away.
I think that initiation by Sumail there was just not properly timed. I mean, he took a fissure, I guess, while popping BKB, so they wasted that, but like Universe had to chase after NewBee as they escaped there, and because of that, the Orchid was very obvious for Storm Spirit, and Rabbit was able to execute. And as soon as the Orchid happens on him, then just a little bit more chain stun, and that's a dead Darkseer. He does get mech off, but the focus from the Skywrath Mage was way too much damage. So they got 2 kills there. They further pushed their lead. EG didn't get anything out of that team fight other than defending their tower, and that is not what they need here. They needed to get a kill in response, and I think the initiation just wasn't quite perfect. But it's so hard. Like, who goes in first? It can't be the Invis heroes. They get spotted. They're not going to clump up as 5, so Universe can't just blink vacuum. It's such a tough initiation, and Sumail tried to make it work, and it just didn't work.
The EG lineup, I can't help but feel like it feels a bit one-dimensional right now,
Yep.
where if it didn't work out the way they planned, there is no plan B to fall back on. They were banking on getting great pickoffs, serious track gold, having Sumail do what he does, ball out of control. Fear would be able to help out with some serious right-click thereafter and cleaning up the objectives, but that is certainly not the case, and they are just desperately on this recovery path. And it seems like it's going to be quite a while. Fear trying to string together what looks like a BKB for himself to help with all that serious burst, but NewBee not looking to wait too much longer. They want to put a lid on this game and lead out this best-of-2 series with 1 win.
And against one of the tournament favorites, that is looking really good.
Huge.
And a lot of people didn't expect NewBee to do very well coming in today. They went 1-1 against VP, but this first start against EG, they have looked like one of the best teams I've seen yet today. So maybe they can do it. 2-time TI champs, is it possible? That would be an insane storyline, especially coming into TI.
People
as
would
one
freak
of the
out.
worst. Yeah, they'd be like, great, NewBee literally played RPGs all year. They show up at the tournament and bam, knock everybody down. That would be crazy.
I mean, and since then, the performances, their DAC showing, like everyone, it was like all a front. They're just like, we're just not playing Dota seriously.
They're like that one guy. It's like, oh, I wasn't trying when I lost there. Just wait till I try. We'll beat you. And then they actually do it.
But even then, like I said before, last year their group stage showing wasn't the best. They just happened to really turn it up when it was key arena time. Right now, they're firing on all cylinders, certainly in this first matchup against EG, and there goes Rabbit. Rabbit right on in. Gets the pull back, and Sumail is dead. Sumail, a big Storm Spirit player, man. He got a taste of his own medicine on that one. Rabbit moves in easily. They double back. They're going to get the tier 3 down. There we go. Vacuum wall only onto 2, and they just walk away as if I know. See you later. No big deal. They don't have the lockdown to stop him and hold him there.
PBD in trouble.
He's in trouble. No overgrowth going to be had. He gets caught out. Mystic Flare, Fissure follow-up. Sumail back from the dead. Charges in. He goes down again. It could be game. Okay,
Lesh
makes it out.
Lesh like committed suicide. I don't know why. EG Fear's going to go down though. So it's still going to be fun. Was that a taunting?
Maybe he gave life to his team to stay alive and keep fighting.
I think they were messing around there because, man, they couldn't even kill the Bracer Wand earned Skywrath Mage. And that is good game. NewBee takes it completely convincingly. They made EG look terrible in that game. They completely shut down the Bounty Roam after that first kill. And at that point, Fear got pressured. Storm Spirit did whatever he wanted to. And when a Storm is in that kind of a game, there's nothing he can do to mess up, basically, after he gets HP. And I loved his initiation, straight onto Sumail, the one guy that could initiate. They literally killed him with 2 stuns. That was all it took. Pull into a fissure or a Lesh stun, and bam, he dies. Doesn't get his BKB off. He almost had his Hex, but he didn't have it, and he was forced to itemize in that way, and he wasn't able to carry his team. What a tough game for EG, and that has got to be a shocker.
I mean, Purge, if I took this screenshot right now and showed it to people a week ago, and they're like, oh, this is how the game is going to go, they would have lost 0-6 Fear, 0-7 Universe, 9-0 Rabbit for NewBee.
Their stats look terrible, but it's because of the way that NewBee reacted to the Invis heroes. Like, honestly, they had such a low chance to win this game after the 15-20 minute mark. Was this a 32-minute games? After the 15-minute mark, it looked absolutely dire. There was no way that they were going to be able to come back from that. So despite their KDAs looking terrible here, it wasn't because they continued to play bad, it was because they lost that early game. Like you said earlier, this was like, if they didn't do amazing or good in the early to mid game, or at least passable, then they were going to get completely stomped, and they did almost nothing in the early game. So their KDAs were going to be terrible no matter what.
Well, EG, a team known for adapting throughout a tournament. This is the same squad that continuously gets pushed down the lower bracket only to find themselves again into the grand final. So obviously, we're not counting them out, but I'm sure they were hoping for at least a stronger debut. For NewBee, they got to feel good. They etch out at least one win against one of the top and favorite teams for all of TI5. We'll have to see if things are going to be changing or not in game number 2. We'll see if NewBee's going to walk away with a 3-point advantage, or if they're going to have to split it 1 apiece. We'll see in just a moment. I'm Kyle Guy. That's Purge. We'll be back with more TI5 coverage in a moment.